The Guardians of the Wild are a loyalist Space Marine chapter from the Cursed Founding, created with the modified gene seed of the Space Wolves chapter. The goal was to remove the horrific results that came with previous failed attempts at creating a successor chapter from the Space Wolves' DNA, and to eliminate the Wolfen mutation as well. Going to a small subsector named Caledonia in Segmentum Obscurus, the biologist arm of the Adeptus Mechanicus began the process of creating the new Space Marine chapter. It met with depressing results, with every candidate dying on the table during the implantation process. They tried several planets, the denizens falling to the same fate as the first, before coming to the feral world of Celtica, as a last-ditch effort before abandoning the project. Celtica was a world whose citizens were in an Iron Age, revering multiple gods who all served under the Emperor of Man in their pantheon. Constant war is waged between the warring tribes of Celtica, and between that, in its mountainous and hilly terrain, the people were hardy and strong, perfect candidates for a Space Marine chapter. Induction began, and to the joy of those who performed the process, the gene seed took, creating the Guardians of the Wilds chapter. The gene seed was not perfect, however, and only half the initiates survived the process, and some of those who died showed signs of the Wolf mutation, though they were horribly broken and useless bodies due to the severe convulsions that seemed they would kill even a full Space Marine. The chapter is steeped deep in their traditions, and is not Codex compliant. Their initiates will always begin their military careers in the chapter in ground assault units, charging forward under the guidance of a woad sergeant. After several engagements, a youth will join the scouts for range training, and after that they'll be considered a true guardian of the Wild Space Marine, given the kill which all Battle Brothers gain when elevated to the rank when they adorn their armour until they die. They also bear different names for their ranks similar to that of the Space Wolves. The chapter master is named the High King, the Chief Librarian and other librarians are the Archdruid and Druids respectively, and the chaplains being bards, sergeants being woad sergeants, standard marines being warriors regardless of the squad they are in, such as Devastator marines being known as Devastator warriors, and the scouts and initiates are both called youths. The Guardians tend not to travel outside the Segmentum Obscurus, keeping to themselves and helping the Space Wolves when they are in dire need of assistance above all else. They keep their origin to themselves, and do not work well with others, mostly due to their odd fighting styles and lack of interest in strategic combat, rather relying on brute force and overwhelming firepower to remove threats from the battlefield. As such, they keep their origins a secret as well, for they believe that their nature and unkind treatment from the other chapters might spell to their predecessors as well should it get out. During the War for Armageddon, the Guardians of the Wilds could not resist the great battles and unending glory of the war zone, and sent none of their 10 companies to the war front, the 10th company only staying behind due to their low numbers from a previous fight with the Necrons during a campaign just 1 year prior. This was a potentially fatal error on the chapter master's part, and after the carnage that ensued on Armageddon, the chapter limped back with only 250 Space Marines remaining in the chapter, including the 10th company. Due to Celtica being the only place of recruitment, and for lack of troops available currently, the chapter master has decreed that the chapter will act as a single entity, with captains equally divvying out the remaining battle brothers between them and moving as one strike force for every battle until the chapter is whole once again.